Hi, I'm Beverly Lewis with BeverlySpeaks.com, and I want to talk to you today about feeling overwhelmed. I think all of us have been there, sometimes several times a week, but getting that feeling of you just have so much to do, you don't know what to do next is very frustrating. And in fact, my experience and observation is that overwhelmed people stop. We stop being productive, we stop moving forward because you just feel paralyzed by too much information, too much of everything. So 3 tips on what to deal with that. The first thing is to get perspective. One thing I like to do is ask myself, how important is this going to be 5 years from now? But that's to deal with sometimes the small day-to-day things, and sometimes they're not so small, but the difficulties that arise. But let's just apply this to, let's say you're tackling a task and you're feeling very overwhelmed. Specifically, I'm going to address social media because I work with people on that, and a lot of times they just feel so stressed out when I start talking to them about all the different social media channels and what they want to get on. But you got to keep it in perspective. You've got to break it down, and that's going to be tip number 2. But when we're on the perspective part, you've got to look at allowing yourself time to get good, allowing yourself time for mastery, and truly just taking it one step at a time. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. And sometimes if we get paralyzed, we don't even make that step. So you've got to see it in a positive way, adjust your thinking, reframe it. You can call it getting a new paradigm, but a lot of that is done when you're feeling good in the light of day. It's certainly not done when you're laying awake at night, unable to sleep because you're worried about all the things that you don't know how to do that you're expected to do or need to learn or whatever. That is not the time to get perspective. The time to get to perspective is when you're rested, you're energized, you're feeling good and optimistic, and then make a shift in your thinking to get that perspective. And the second thing is to block your time to allow to begin to work on it in just small increments. I could use a million examples, but once again with social media, I tell people if they'll start with just either maybe 30 minutes 3 times a week, it's kind of like an exercise program. You think about how bad you feel when you're not exercising. No, you should. Your health is suffering, and you think, I just don't have time. Where can I possibly find an extra 30 minutes a day to exercise? And you feel very overwhelmed. But when you discipline yourself to start blocking that time, and you begin, even if it's just 2 days a week, and you find the time, then when you begin to feel better, you begin to experience results, it gives you the motivation to go to the next step. And the third tip today is to stay in your lane. Try as much as possible to allow yourself time to every day to do the things that you are awesome at, that you feel good at, that are rewarding just to do them. Staying in your lane, doing what is exciting to you, what's in your zone, being sure that you allow yourself time every day to experience those things. These 3 tips will go a long way in helping you not feel overwhelmed and be able to go from inspiration to motivation to activation and mastery. And I look forward to helping you get there. Thanks for coming by.